In this episode, we're going to install a CB radio inside this 1974 MGB Roadster. The radio will be a Cobra 148 GTL. It's a stock snake radio with an external frequency counter affixed on top. The goal of this project is not to punch or drill any holes inside the cab. After brainstorming for a bit, we came up with an idea of a foundation base after looking at the MG floor mats. We're going to construct a wooden foundation base, duplicating the measurements of the MG floor mats. Before we start, we're going to need the necessary supplies from the nearest hardware store. Besides getting the many nuts and bolts and screws that's required, here are the main components that are needed in order to complete this project. A 1-inch thick wood panel board, a galvanized iron floor flange, a galvanized iron flange, a steel pipe measuring 1 1/4 by 18 inches, but unfortunately there was not one in stock, and we did not want to go to another hardware store, so we purchased a 24-inch long pipe instead. Since we purchased a 24-inch pipe, we also had to purchase 2 galvanized steel angles. This was necessary so the radio would be able to sit a few inches below from the dash, and a galvanized T-strap. Let's start by tracing from the top midsection of the floor mat onto the wood panel board. Go along the edges until the dimensions are 14.5 by 24 inches. It will be long enough so the wood panel able to fit nicely underneath the passenger seat. Now we're going to use our jigsaw to cut along the lines. Make sure you trace the floor flange from the middle left corner of the board next to the center console. The steel pole will be placed there. Once the holes are marked, we're going to drill the holes in the board. Now let's go to the MG and try out the floorboard for size. The floorboard is a good fit. Now we're going to paint it to uniform the floor mats. Now that's painted, it's time to affix the floor flange onto the board. Make sure the slip-on connection is at the 1 o'clock position, so that an Allen wrench can secure the pole into place. The floorboard looks fantastic. Now let's put on the rubber furniture pads to protect the MG floor mat. We're back at the MG to install the floorboard. The floorboard is snuggled into place underneath the seat for support, and it looks great. Now let's construct the other components. Screw on the top flange to the pole and put the pole into the floor flange and tighten it with an Allen wrench. Take the 2 steel angles and connect them with a bolt and screw. Now take the T-strap and connect that to the bottom base of the steel angle. The T-strap is needed because it will be connected to the bracket of the CB radio, as you can see. This is what the final product will look like before the installation of the radio. For the last part, attach the angles to the flange that's already on the pole. Now it's time for the Cobra radio to be installed. Well, there you go. Everything looks good as it was planned to be. For connecting the radio to the battery, run a 16 gauge wire with an inline fuse holder directly to the hot terminal. The ground wire can be connected to the ground terminal. Please be sure to get an appropriate antenna for the CB radio and set the antenna to the lowest SWR readings possible. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please stay tuned for other content appearing on this network in the near future. Till next time, thank you all for watching.